Welcome to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. Are you a goofball that loves Giants football? If so, sit back and relax. Except you, that person driving. Sit up and keep your eyes on the road. Your ears, though, can still listen as we talk about the team that both excites and frustrates us so much. And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Welcome, fellow goofballs, to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by... Oh, nope, he's muted again. We gotta unmute you here. Come on. You are mute, Rob. Rob is here, I promise, guys.
Hey, why did you mute me?
There you go. I didn't mute you, I promise you. Let's try it again. Joined as always by...
Me. Hold up. Let's talk about that frenzy.
It's you! And we have a very special guest here, the sponsor of the show here, John S. Anderson Jr., who has officially sponsored the show today by going to buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Again, that's buymeacoffee.com/2 Giant thank you very much. Much appreciated, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Always good to have you here with us as well. So today we're going to go over with you guys the Roundup here on the NFC East. So obviously we've been talking a lot about what the Giants have been doing because, let's face it, we are a Giants podcast. But
it's in the title.
Yeah, it's in the title. It also the goofballness. So sorry ahead of time. We're a little bit goofy. But today we're going to go over with you guys all of the teams in the NFC East because let's be honest here, we got 6 games to face against these guys. Last year we had 7 thanks to the playoffs. So it's kind of important to know what the other guys are doing in the division as well because we're going to see them multiple times, whether we like it or not, especially not based on how we've been playing against them lately. So before we get started, as always, we're going to go over all the newest Giant news here for you guys first, because our team before everybody else, damn it.
Hells yeah.
And we do have some breaking news. I feel like I'm like a cat in the piano. Like remember that meme with the angry cat and the keyboard? Like
Fantastic.
So we had the news here as my dad chimes in with maybe now we can get a real center, and that's because John Feliciano has officially this evening signed on with the San Francisco 49ers. So guys, we're running out of centers here pretty fast between him and Gates, which is going to be interesting. Yeah, so right now, if the season has started hypothetically, our starting center is Ben Bredesen, who has pretty much never really played the position, but I think he's done it a little bit, but never like a consistent
a few times.
Basis, basically. Yeah, never a consistent basis. Well, he's going to have to get consistent based on how the roster sits right now, unless we have a certain center from Minnesota in mind on draft day. We'll see. That's the thing with the draft. You can never count on who you're going to get because it doesn't matter who you want. It's a matter of who's available when you're picking or who you're willing to trade down to go ahead and get. And you never know. You never know what's going to happen there. It's a crapshoot. So I wouldn't be shocked at all if I saw us bring in a center still just to kind of solidify the position. I've heard a lot of news on Ben Jones, formerly at the Titans, and him being a guy that people like. He's old. He can't stay healthy. So he'd fit in with the roster correctly, but
yeah,
but yeah, not the guy I want. Not the guy I want. I'd rather have Ben Bredesen than him, and I know some people probably shoot me for saying that, but yeah, that's who I'd rather go with personally. We do have a signing though, so it's not all sayonara. We do also have a new guy here. So Leonard Johnson officially has signed with the New York Giants here, the cornerback, and you guys are probably going, "Oh, where did he play last year?" Nowhere. Nowhere. So he was supposed to go into the draft last year and did. No one drafted him because he got injured. So while training for the draft, so ACL and meniscus repair as well on top of that.
Well, that's not that uncommon.
Yeah, I'm saying we got the twofer there. We do got the twofer. So yeah, he did not get drafted because of that, and he would have been probably like, I want to hear like a mid-round to late-round pick, basically. I looked at the rankings. The last ranking I saw him was for him. PFN had him ranked as the number 207 prospect. So, that's would have put him like about the 6th round or so. So yeah, obviously that's why they went ahead and didn't draft him. Why would you draft the guy who's going to sit for a year in the 6th round? John goes, another injury person. Ruh-roh. Listen, John, at least he got injured before he came here.
It's true.
You can't blame MetLife for this one, folks. Unless he was training at MetLife.
I mean, he's from Duke, so I don't think so.
He is. He actually played with DJ, too.
Yeah.
DJ is still young enough, but he's actually played with DJ. He played with him in 2018, his last year there. So, you got to think that they don't make that kind of move without talking to Jones, because he knows the guy. He knows his work ethic. He knows his personality. He knows a lot about him. So I thought that was an interesting component to this, because they brought him in just for a workout. He doesn't even leave the building. 3-year deal. Done. Automatically. So it tells me one of two things. Either the Giants liked something they saw in this and said, hey, we got to get this guy. Or, other option, which is not nearly as positive, is he was desperate and said, someone's willing to sign me. Let's do this now before they change their mind. I mean, either one's a possibility.
Goes on both parties.
I mean, either one's a possibility. I don't want to be all negative here, but let's be honest. If the guy was going to be a 6th-round draft pick last year, he tore his ACL. He's coming back for that. It usually takes a second year back before you're really yourself. He's not a guy that if you guys are thinking, oh, is this going to be CB2? Probably not. This is probably bottom of the depth chart, practice squad kind of guy, which is fine. Listen, you need those guys. And I have no problem taking a guy like that who's developmental and see what you got at him and see what you can build into him there. So,
Yeah.
So, yeah, good move all around, just nothing to get overly excited about. We do have something, though, to get overly excited about. Ooh, let's get excited.
Let's get excited.
So Isaiah Hodgins and Paris Campbell are already working out together in Arizona.
That's awesome.
That's nice. And apparently, they've been working out prior to the signing. Hodgins previously said on Twitter that he was out there recruiting. Guess who he was recruiting? Paris Campbell. So, thank you, Hodgins, for being the true Giant there, man. I'd love to see that kind of stuff.
He just wanted a night in Paris.
Now, that's a different kind of thing. Poor Paris Hilton. I met her one time. I really did. I legit met her actually at an event she had at Harrah's in AC. And I was extremely drunk, as I am pretty much every time I go to AC. Listen, AC, you get drunk. This is what you do. Okay, I have a rule. I'm not really much of a gambler. So when I go to AC, I sit on the slot machines. And I get drinks and drinks and drinks and drinks. Because if you go to Harrah's or one of the, the Caesars Entertainment Resorts, whatever the hell they call it, they have little buttons right on the actual slot machines, and you can pick whatever you want. So I'd go there, get my drinks, sit on the penny slots all night long. If I lost, I paid for my drinks. If I broke even, I drank for free. And if I won, I got paid to drink.
It's pretty much
There's not really a losing proposition. John says, did you score with her? New God status if you did. No, I did not. I was a taken man then as well, John. That's clearly what stopped her, of course, from being interested.
Yeah. Paris couldn't even.
I said, no, Paris, no. No, so yeah, she was... but yeah, so I was so drunk that I literally asked her when she goes to Paris if she stays at the Hilton.
She's like, I don't get it.
Yeah, she did not look amused at all. Don't give me near an open bar at AC like that. It's just a bad idea. Bad things will happen. All right. So, but yeah, like I said, it's interesting that you got two guys like that are hanging out together, working out together. And, now they're going ahead and from what I hear, Daniel Jones is coming there as well to town to go work out with them as well. So I love seeing DJ already going to work with a brand new receiver, get that rapport going. That's key. That's an Eli move.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't even say that because it's really been a DJ move since he's gotten here. Roberto would have gotten her. Maybe he was single at the time, John. I don't know. We'll never know now because she's married with children and everything. Now I got that Frank Sinatra song in my head.
Yeah.
Al Bundy.
Hey.
But yeah, so we do have some bad news there. Is along with John Feliciano being gone, we also have to say goodbye to Julian Love, who signed with the Seattle Seahawks 2 years, $12 million. Now, what I thought was very interesting about that is I was listening to Jordan Ron on the Breaking Big Blue, the ESPN beat reporter for the Giants, and he said that during the bye week, Love was offered $7 million a year by the Giants. So in the end, he got paid less money. And it makes you think if the Giants really wanted to keep him, they would have paid that money. If you were offering him 7, you wouldn't now not offer him 6 unless something changed in your evaluation.
Yeah. I mean, Shane also kind of put the writing on the wall, like, after press conferences, like, because Julian Love said he wanted to test the market, and
yeah,
Shane was like, we're not going to bid for him.
Yeah, and we didn't, and we lost him. So,
yeah,
honestly, he was a great safety for us this year, leading tackler, but part of me wonders still, and it's not to take anything away from what he did for us, because I do still like the player. Part of me wonders, though, if he got so many tackles because our linebackers just suck.
Could be.
I mean, let's be honest here. They got through that second wave pretty quickly. Safety was the last line of defense. Like I said, I don't want to take anything away from him and be that guy, but
he offered a hand when McKinney couldn't. I just have to say that too.
Wow. JPP would have if he was there. So my dad crushes my dreams of AC next time I go. Not as easy to get drinks now in AC as it was. Just got back from there this afternoon. Oh, that's kind of depressing. Speaking of depressing,
that means you didn't try hard enough.
John says, "Hope likes the rain." Depressing. Okay. Alrighty. So we do have some good news, is that we had another person in for a visit today. It wasn't just Leonard Johnson. We also had a Sean Robinson, the defensive lineman, formerly of the Rams. And, it's a guy who's obviously come from winning culture in L.A., minus this year, obviously. He's a good run stopper. He's a guy who could spell Leonard Williams or spell Dexter Lawrence, kind of like Nacho. We got him earlier on this offseason. Kind of like that. So I've heard a lot of rumors that it's already a done deal that he's going to be a Giant. I haven't seen anything officially announced, and I'm wondering if part is because, to be frank, we don't have any money to sign anybody at this point. We got to free up some cap space before anybody else is announced, whether it's through restructure at that point or a cutting. I mean, whatever we got to do at this point. But yeah, I always say it's never a done deal until it's a done deal. Until there's ink on the paper, it's not done. But everything I'm hearing is pretty positive. So at least that's good, because Joe Shane said at the beginning of the offseason, one of his goals was to get depth at defensive line. If we have Robinson and Nacho, mission accomplished.
Which would be perfect, because I mean, look at how many healthy practices that Sexy Dexy didn't practice in. He was more like a veteran guy, even though he's only in his 4th year at the last year. That he was skipping practice because he had so many playing time.
So John says, is it time for Daniel Jones to restructure already? Let's convert it all to signing bonus. Screw the cap. No, John, I think we're good on that one. I think the big
We'll go back to you next week.
I still think the big one I've said forever is Adoree Jackson should be extended. Just rip up this year and get him a 3-year new deal at that point. Get that number down. Otherwise, the two guys you look at for a restructuring or extension would be Leonard Williams. Get that number down, because he's like a $32 million cap hit this year. The other guy to look at is Saquon, because if you can actually extend him to a long-term deal and get this number down a little bit and save a couple million that way. But honestly, I like Saquon where he's at. I do. Year by year, that's the way it should be with running backs, because you just never know year to year. I know, I'm a cynic.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I know. I'm all depressive sounding like that.
Did you or Julian Love go to Seattle?
Yeah, listen. Wow. Maybe I should do a little grunge music too and honor him. Have a Starbucks. perhaps some fresh salmon. Watch some Grey's Anatomy. I'm out of Seattle references here.
That's about all I got.
Yeah, that's all we got there. Ooh, John says I'd let Leonard go. I think he peaked. I like him, but he's not consistent. I think this, John. I think if he was injured, wasn't injured this year and was healthy, I don't think he'd be saying that. And that's not knocking you when I say that. I think people forgot because he was injured all year. He wasn't as good as he usually is, but I think he's got enough of a time frame in the NFL to know what he really is. He's a good run stopper. He's a guy who can get to the quarterback but not quite get him down. He's pretty good at rushing the quarterback, just not finishing the job. Except that 1 year, of course, when we paid him.
Of course.
That was the 1 year. So I do think it's that time, Rob.
Oh, it's that time.
Oh, it is. Oh yes, it's time for news from around the league, and we're going to do this a little different than we've been doing. We're doing the free agent frenzy, giving you guys literally every single person that signed. Guys, it's been a week. I can't keep doing that. We got to talk Giant football here. We got to talk Giant football. So I'm going to give you guys at least all the biggest news of what's going on, and then anything else you guys are interested, I'll tell you point blank. ProFootballRumors.com is a great site if you want to catch up on everything, because they literally give you everything all in one spot. It's not the place to go for breaking news. It's not the quickest at reporting it, but they'll give you a breakdown of everything that happened. So first up here, Cam Newton. Never thought we'd hear about that name in 2023, did you? Right. Cam Newton has announced he'll be throwing at the Auburn Pro Day and looking to get back in, and is quoted as saying he doesn't think there's 32 quarterbacks in the league better than him. Yeah. Between that and his fashion sense, the mental illnesses are definitely legit there now, I gotta say.
I mean, he could be a backup for Jimmy Garoppolo. I
don't know. He said 32, which means he still thinks he's a starter.
I know.
That's the problem. If he thought he was a backup and he'd be an actual backup, I think he'd still be in the league.
100%.
But, yeah. So, Bills signed former Pats running back Damian Harris. And if you remember, there's another free agent they had in Devin Singletary, who a lot of the Giants rumors circled around because of Dable and Shane, because every single Bill gets circled around as a possible Giant. But nope, he went to the Houston Texans on a one-year deal, $3.75 million. Texans had a very busy day. They also signed former Cowboy tight end Dalton Schultz, 1 year, $9 million. So that's the last of the big name tight ends there that were available being gone now. So also, rumor is Colts are considering giving an offer to Lamar Jackson, which is interesting because nobody has been looked like they want to do that. Not even the Ravens. Yeah. The Ravens like, screw it, we gave you an offer, take it or leave it.
I don't know if he's going to get paid that anywhere else.
Yeah, you know what? I think the Colts are the right team for him because the Colts are desperate for a quarterback. Let's be honest. They've gone through all the old quarterbacks they can. Andrew Luck ran out of town because he just lost the love for it because of all the injuries. I'm not blaming him on that. So, yeah, I mean, it's the one team that I think would. My dad chimes in, but there's 34 quarterbacks better than him. Yeah, he's a backup. He's a decent backup, but he's a backup. John says, not a far trip for Schultz. That's the thing. You'd be surprised how far that trip is. That's a big damn state. That state is bigger than half the countries in the world.
It's like 3.5 hours. It's not that bad.
What, from Dallas to Houston?
I'm pretty sure it's like.
Let's see. I'm going to look it up.
Actually, it might be 6. It actually might be 6.
Houston. Dallas to Houston is 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, that's like going from like the Giants
to
the Commanders. Yeah, that's like going from the Giants to the Commanders, though. Same thing. So just to put in that perspective. Heard Texans might go after Lamar, too. I haven't heard that one. Being the second pick in the draft, I'm pretty sure they're going to take whichever of the big two quarterbacks that Carolina does not take.
So wait, did I miss the breaking news? Was Mills not the answer?
Yeah, that's not breaking news. That's not breaking news at all. The only thing Davis Mills is good for is if you need to play a human game of ring toss, because that neck is like the perfect thing to use that for. I'm saying, like,
you got it wrong a few times this year.
Yeah, he's yeah. So my dad chimes in with Texans have the need and the cap space. Yeah, I mean they do, but honestly, I just don't see it happening. I really don't. I think that he's going to go back to the Ravens. I really do. I think it's going to be an issue. They're going to have to kind of mend that relationship because
tail between the legs
for both of them potentially, because one
Yeah.
of them's going to have to give in, or they're going to have to both give in a little. It's like any relationship; it's a give and take.
right? Give and take.
See,
Yes,
the Ravens.
dear. Yes, dear.
The Ravens are from Mars, and Lamar Jackson is from Venus.
You just don't get each other sometimes.
Exactly, they just don't do it. And how does that make you feel? So Titans signed Sean Murphy-Bunting, the second of the Bucks free agent cornerbacks. So the Bucks got to keep one out of two. So not quite a Meatloaf song, but almost there. 1 year, $5 million. The big one that happened here, and I'm shocked by this one, how little this was cost-wise. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson to the Lions, 1 year, $8 million. The Eagles lose another, but that's not that much money for a guy that was injured for like 5 games and still led the NFL in interceptions. Like, I'm really shocked by how cheap that was. And I'll tell you this, he was definitely as well, because you heard him talking all kinds of trash on Twitter beforehand about the lack of interest in him. And it's funny to see all the Eagles fans talking trash about how he wasn't that good now that he's not an Eagle anymore, because they just have no class whatsoever.
Well, that's Philly for you.
Exactly. So Panthers signed wide receiver Adam Thielen, former Minnesota Viking. They're also expected to be looking at other receivers. The rumor is they also want DJ Shark. Keep in mind, they got rid of DJ Moore in the trade to get the number 1 overall pick. They already got Hayden Hurst from formerly the Bengals as well. So they're looking to put some weapons together for whoever's going to be their rookie quarterback. So kudos to them, because they're doing it right. As long as DJ Shark actually is healthy, I mean, it's just,
We'll see about that.
Yeah, we'll see about that. As my dad's here doing the cussing thing. Wanted Gardner-Johnson. He wanted him bad. Listen, I would have loved to have him myself, but I think the big issue is that the money. Even $8 million.
Money.
We just don't have it. We don't have it. Not without ignoring some other needs that we're going to have later on, too, because I do think we're going to restructure and get some more money. But we do, from what I'm hearing, actually, the Giants are very interested in potentially having Jason Pinnock be the starting safety. That's the rumors I'm hearing. But we'll see. Let's see. John S. Anderson says, if I was Lamar, I'd sit out. Screw them. Jets, wake up. Texans, wake up. He's better than any quarterback in the draft unless Richardson turns into new Lamar Jackson. Listen, I'm with you because the guy wins. That's what I care about in my quarterback. Do you win? Do you have a winning record? Unless you're a guy like Jimmy G who gets dragged to the wins. But, think about it. Well, let's be honest, because I guess because the Raiders are all talking up about, his record. Like he wasn't on 2 very good teams, the Patriots and the Niners. I mean, it wasn't like it wasn't like he turned around the Houston Texans or something like that. Like he went to 2 really good teams and happened to not blow it up. Call it what it is.
The Patriots structured that offense around him and Tom Brady to keep going forward. So of course he looks good there.
Now we got some more wide receiver news. So DeAndre Hopkins hires an agent and says he's willing to rework his deal. There's also all kinds of rumors that he wants to be a Cowboy, but the Cowboys already traded now for Brandon Cooks in exchange for 2 late-round picks, and the Texans paying 1/3 of his salary next season as well. So another interesting move for the Cowboys. We'll talk about some of their moves here in a moment there. Foreshadowing. Yeah. So also with that, Ed Werder of ESPN has said that the Cowboys are now likely out of the running for OBJ. So how crazy would it be if OBJ actually does fall to the Giants just because nobody wants to pay him? He's like, I might as well go back home. The scary thing is, the longer this goes, the longer I'm like, maybe that does happen. We also have a new record. A new record. Laramie Tunsil agrees to 3 years, $75 million extension with the Houston Texans. Oh, yes. And it's a big thing for Giant fans to keep an eye on, because guess who needs an extension probably next year? Andrew Thomas. Yeah, so $25 million a year is now the ceiling for tackles, it looks like. So that means 26, 27 million probably for Andrew Thomas when he's up for free agency here soon. So something to keep an eye on there. More and the Eagles losing players. Steelers signed former Eagle Isaac Seumalo 3-year, $24 million. And that was considered the best interior offensive lineman on the market this season here. So Steelers do what they got to do to protect their tiny-handed quarterback here. We also little T-Rex. So it's like this, like trying to throw it. Where's the Nerf ball?
He's really good at push-ups.
Shouldn't make fun of him. He's a Jersey boy.
He is.
I'm good anyway, though. And he's all right. It means he's got thick skin. It's okay. So,
let's say he's from Jersey. He should be used to it.
Yeah. Oh, God, John, for bringing it up. I knew somebody would. Not bad for Tunsil, considering that wasn't he the one getting high in a gas mask? Listen, first off, we never know if that was him in the gas mask. There was a picture of someone in the gas mask, and he was the one getting blamed for it. Yes, it probably was him. Don't get me wrong. But there was no proof. It wasn't like he went on live TV.
The eyes.
It wasn't like he was on live TV or anything. But yeah, he's now the second time he's the highest paid tackle because he went to the Texans, who have no talent whatsoever and can afford to pay him that. So we have a retirement as well. Josh Lambo retires, the kicker from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Interesting life this guy had. And I was unaware of this even because I'll admit freely that I'm not up to date on the Jacksonville Jaguar kickers apparently. So he was drafted 8th overall in 2008 by FC Dallas. Anybody know who FC Dallas is? It's not an NFL team.
I was about to say it's XFL?
MLS. He was a professional goalkeeper for a few years. Then went to play college at Texas A&M and became the team's kicker there, and then played 8 years in the NFL. He's actually still 32, so he's still of age. He could still play for a little while if he wanted to, but he's been kind of more difficult to find work lately the last couple of years. But still, that's impressive.
Yeah.
You know, to go from like playing in professional soccer to playing professional football. Granted, he's
Bo
still...
Jackson?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you almost got to include him in that kind of conversation. There's not a lot of guys who've gone professional in two different sports. I mean, that's still impressive.
I mean, Michael Jordan did it too, but he didn't do it that well at baseball.
He was not professional. He was still in minor leagues. I mean, I guess that's still a professional, but it's not, the top.
Tim Tebow.
Tim Tebow, same thing. He did not play for the Mets. He played for the
he played for the AAA Mets.
Yes, the triple A Mets. The triple A Mets. You need the quadruple A Mets to be counting in this conversation. So other news. We have, let's see, the Jags re-signed Trey Herndon, the cornerback. The Giants were rumored to have interest in him. 1 year, $2.6 million. Patriots signed Mike Gesicki, who everybody here that watches on a regular basis knows I had a lot of interest in him. 1 year, $4.5 million base, maxed out at $9 million. Seems like $9 million was like the number for tight ends this offseason.
Seems like that.
Yeah, it seems that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm glad we got the one we got, so I'm not complaining that we didn't get Gesicki, but yeah, I kind of feel bad for the guy because he was kind of hinting he wanted to be a Giant. They're like, we'll trade for Waller.
It's only 1 year. There's still a chance.
Exactly. Mike Edwards, safety, former Buck, joins the Chiefs. 1 year, $3 million. Drew Tranquill, another guy that we talked about that I wanted big time on the Giants, end up leaving the Chargers for the Chiefs. 1 year, up to $5 million. That's a cheap deal for a guy like that. I'm telling you, he's going to come off next year in free agency on a bigger stage than being he's going to play for the Chiefs. Gonna be some money.
I was about to say, heyday.
Oh, yeah. Also, Browns signed tight end Jordan Akins, former Giant. 2 years, up to $5.2 million. So that concludes our news from around the league.
Around the league.
All right, so let's get into everything here as far as the NFC East. So we're going to start off doing this in order of how the teams finished in the record for the year last year. I think that's a fair way to do it, I think. So, first up, we have the Philadelphia Eagles. Not to be confused with the Jeff Eagles.
Eagles.
So, here, let me give you the rundown of everything they got here. So, additions, Rashard Penny added running back from the Seahawks. Quarterback Marcus Mariota from the Falcons. Cornerback Greedy Williams from the Browns. Re-signed center Jason Kelsey. Re-signed defensive end Brandon Graham. Cornerback James Bradbury. Defensive tackle Fletcher Cox. Running back Bart Scott. Damn it. Cornerback Darius Slay reworked his contract. And then as far as losses, get ready for this one because we got a list coming here. Gardner Minshew left and went to the Colts. Miles Sanders left, went to the Panthers. Zach Pascal, the wide receiver, went to the Cardinals. Andre Dillard, tackle, goes to the Titans. Isaac Samalo, we talked about, guard, goes to the Steelers. Jason Hargrave, defensive tackle, goes to the Niners. TJ Edwards, linebacker, goes to the Bears. Kazir White, linebacker, goes to the Cardinals. Marcus Epps, safety, goes to the Bears. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, safety, goes to the Lions. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 starters on their defense. Gone.
Bye-bye.
That's 2 starters on their offense. Gone. That's a whole lot of gone. That's a whole lot of gone. It's like a Led Zeppelin song. Got a whole lot of gone. Oh, we're definitely getting sued now. Led Zeppelin's like known for that. So, at first glance, all I keep hearing about is people going, "Oh my God, the Eagles lost so much. The Eagles won't be the same. The Eagles can't do this. The Eagles can't do that." Listen, guys, I would love to sit here and tell you doom and gloom about the Eagles. I would love to do that. Love to do that. I'm here to tell you the reverse. The Eagles will be just fine. The biggest concern I have with them is that they lost both their coordinators, both their OC and their DC. People forget what happened in the draft last year. These guys
probably won it.
They redshirted. So let's compare who they drafted last year and who they lost. Number 13, Jordan Davis, defensive tackle. Replaces Jason Hargrave. Number 51, Cam Jurgens, is in place to go ahead and replace Kelsey eventually. Nakobe Dean, remember he was injured, was going to be like a first-round draft pick. They got him in the 3rd round. I'm still pissed about that. I still want the Giants to get him. He replaces T.J. Edwards. Kyron Johnson, pick 181, replaces Kazir White. Now, this year, they also have the 10th overall pick, the 30th overall pick, the 62nd overall pick, and the 94th overall pick. So they have an extra first-round pick. They just don't have a 4th, 5th, or 6th. So they have a little bit of issues with depth as far as that. But damn. Cover's not fair, guys. Cover's not fair. Yeah. Like, that's... Like I said, I hate to be the guy to give you guys news like that, but I don't think that everybody that's predicting the end of the good times in Philadelphia is anywhere near right. And they probably won't be as good as they were last year, don't get me wrong. But this is not going to be a team that's going to go down like that. I mean, okay, they lost their running back. Were you really worried about stopping Miles Sanders?
No, it was.
You were worried about stopping Hurts because he was their key running back. Let's be honest, we'll call him what he is. Same with us. I mean,
unless you're Giants, then you got to worry about Boston Scott.
Boston Scott is the biggest running back worry we have as Giant fans. That man keeps us up at night. I was really hoping they would sign him and just put him on the practice squad, just end his career.
Yeah.
Ended it right then and there. But like I said, I don't see them going down like people think. I still think this is an 11-12 win team, assuming everything goes right for them.
If you had to go over under on 11 wins, I'll go over.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Push. They'll be fine.
Like, guys, like I tell you guys all the time, we despise the Eagles. We despise the Cowboys.
I don't even like the Philly cheesesteaks.
Bite your tongue. I love a cheesesteak. We have mixed feelings on the Commanders. We just want to do better than them. The hate's not there like it should be probably, but it's not there. But I'm not gonna BS you guys and tell you guys things that you want to hear. Like the Eagles suck. The Eagles are gonna be horrible. That's not the case.
You can say they suck, but doesn't mean it's true.
Yeah, I'd be lying. Like I'm not gonna do that to you guys. Like this is not the team that's gonna go downhill that a lot of people seem to think it is. This is a team that's probably not as good as last year. But
And like you alluded to earlier, the biggest losses they have is their coordinators.
it's the biggest losses. It truly is. And if you listen to Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who talked in the offseason, he wasn't too upset that they lost their defensive coordinator when he thought he might come back. He said that they didn't put him in the position to win in the Super Bowl. Yeah. Plus, he's a weird-looking guy. He really is. He's a weird-looking guy. Did you see the picture of him? Like, you expected him to show up at his press conference in Arizona like a bow tie and everything. Like, he was like...
Poindexter?
Poindexter. Totally Poindexter. Like, he was like, that's a football coach? You know, you expect like a Dable or a Reed, like these big guys that are just, you know, fat as anything, just rolling around on the sidelines. Here he is. Here to talk about the defense with you guys today.
Let's get the analytics says we should do it this way.
Let's go ahead and get the quarterback. So, and that's one area I want to be clear on. I do think they will go down next year, and that's their ability to rush the quarterback. You know, they lost Hargrave, obviously was a big part of it there. On top of that, they also, of course, you can't count on people to have career years like Brandon Graham had. You know, you can't count on Fletcher Cox to stay young forever. Like, eventually, Father Time is going to catch up to you. So, I do think they're going to lose some there. But I think their defense is still going to be good enough. Their offense is still going to be good enough as long as Hurts doesn't take a step back. I just hope he has to throw more Hail Marys. I want to see that 20-yard bomb.
Donk.
Just gives me that warm, fuzzy feeling when I go, I can throw the ball farther than a starting quarterback in the NFL. So, yeah, like I said, guys, don't look for them to go ahead and fall down flat in their face. They're probably not going to. As much as we all would love to see it, they're probably not going to. So, let's see. We got a couple comments here. John S. Anderson, still can't believe Gesicki not coming here. Oh, well, Waller is a beast, so it's okay. Yeah, Waller's a better option, honestly. Yeah. We got the better of the two. My dad comes in with, let's hope that neither the Eagles nor Cowboys get in position to draft Bijan Robinson. Listen, I'm okay with that because I still think a first-round pick is a waste on a running back. Even if he ends up being a really good running back, it's still a waste. If I could turn back time, as Shara would say, I would still not go ahead and take Saquon Barkley in that draft. I would have taken a Bradley Chubb. I would have taken, Quentin Nelson. I would have taken anybody who's at a better position value because you could have got Nick Chubb in the second round. You could have gotten, there's plenty of guys later on always, every single year. John said, Dad's right. Bijan better not go to cow pukes. And then my dad comes in with, you can't stop the Eagles from scoring, you can't beat them. And that's true of any team at that point. But, yeah, definitely with the Eagles because they can put up a whole lot more points than the Giants can with the way the offenses were last year, at least. That's for sure.
And they could put it up fast.
Yeah, we need to improve the corners, that's for sure. But we'll get into that.
Like you alluded to earlier, Jalen Hurts was the number one pretty much rusher through the whole year. And when, Boston Scott, when all these other guys got their yards, was in the second half when they already had a dominating lead.
Oh, yeah, because they were throwing the ball deep down the field in the first half. In that first game, they blew us out. So, but the nice thing is going to be now with Hurts is, we're going to have Bobby Okereke to go ahead and hopefully do a little QB spy and keep an eye on him and go sideline to sideline with him. So I do think that's going to be a good addition overall for us there. Well, let's not get too much into us yet because we still got to go over the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, the cow pukes. So let's see. Dallas Cowboys key additions: Stephon Gilmore formerly of the Colts via trade. Brandon Cooks, Texans also via trade. They're just trading. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. Let's see. Key re-signings: Donovan Wilson, the safety; Leighton Vander Esch, the linebacker; Tyron Smith did a restructure, their offensive tackle; and Cooper Rush got re-signed as well. Tony Pollard got franchise tagged. He's their Saquon. Let's see, losses. Ezekiel Elliott is the loss. And as I saw the Talking Giants already go ahead and post this when I was already thinking this as well. But, he's available to be our starting center maybe after having...
if he doesn't get picked up somewhere, he's going to be back with the Cowboys.
He'll get picked up somewhere. He will not be back with the Cowboys. I'm telling you right now. He will not be.
Yeah.
Everything they're saying, it's not going to happen. And I don't know whose decision that was, but... It'd be a shocker if it did. I'll put it that way. Texans are stealing from the Dallas Cowboys. Noah Brown, wide receiver, went there, and we talked about Dalton Schultz, tight end, going there. Connor McGovern, the guard, going to the Bills. So, yeah, they lost a few players here. And they added a couple of big names. So it's kind of like, okay, Brandon Cooks, better than Noah Brown. I think we can agree on that, right?
Correct.
Okay. Dalton Schultz, no replacement for him yet. So you lost that on offense. You lost Ezekiel Elliott, who obviously wasn't, what is someone he was? I mean, let's be honest, he never really repeated that rookie year. He kept going worse and worse each year a little bit.
And last year he was like the third down guy that just kind of ran the ball in the red zone.
Very expensive third down guy.
Yeah.
Except when he played the Giants. He's another one that seems to play the Giants very well. But so they lost him. They lost Connor McGovern. So they got some losses there on the offensive side. And keep in mind, this is the second year they lost a starting offensive lineman. They lost Laurel Collins to the Bengals last year, the right tackle as well. So they've lost 40% of their offensive line the last two off seasons. Remember, that was always a big part of their offense, was their offensive line. So, yeah, it makes you wonder how good it's going to be for their offense, especially when you have a quarterback that was, prone to throw interceptions. You'd think you'd want to protect him and give him time to make the proper decisions.
Yeah, and he was under pressure a lot last year too. So ice baby.
Now stop. Collaborate and listen. Zeke's not coming back for a brand new edition. Yes, my dad comes in saying losing Zeke is addition by subtraction. Here's the thing though, is the question you got to ask with that is, but I would say this, he's not wrong on paper, but you have to wonder can Tony Pollard be the man? If they don't draft a running back, can he be the guy to do your runs for you? Because there were some games that Zeke was okay, and I'm not saying he was ever spectacular, but like look at it, like I said, against us on Thanksgiving and stuff like that, Zeke was the main runner those times. When Pollard didn't have it, Zeke did it. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much of that
not having that security blanket is a big thing, I think.
You're right, but also was that Dallas playing against our weakness and just exploding us? Because Pollard also had some good games against us as well.
Yes.
So.
No, I mean, let's be honest. Every running back pretty much had a good game against us.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Aww.
So, like I said, we're going to have to see. I mean, especially with Pollard, as my dad chimes in, with Pollard can't do full load, especially after injury. Keep in mind, he got injured in the playoffs. So, I haven't heard the extent to where he's at as far as his rehab and all that kind of fun stuff there. But that's an issue. When you got one running back you're counting on coming off injury and you're losing Zeke now. I mean, again, Zeke wasn't a guy that was really explosive anymore, but he took carries. He took a beating. And as he strikes in with also Dallas will draft a running back. They will.
They will.
But you never know when you get a rookie. You just never do.
They'll probably get a big body running back.
But how many rookies have you seen go to the NFL that are like can't miss prospects? And I think you missed. There's no such thing as can't miss. It's a lot of
the draft for you.
Yeah. And, on defense, the big question I would say is, how good is Stephon Gilmore going to be? Because he is 33. So, Father Time, we talked about this before. Father Time always wins. Is this the year he starts slowing down? And he was very good for the Colts last year, so don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to knock him and saying he's lost a step yet. Yet. But what I do find interesting is I think him and Cooks both are 1 year left on their deals.
Yeah,
so these are rental players.
That's pretty much what I was about to say. They're there for a filler, for them to pick up better.
For a filler? What?
For
Philadelphia? What? They're there for Philadelphia.
It could be. I don't know.
But I mean, like I said, it's weird because it's almost like you make these moves when you think you're a player or two away from doing something, and it makes me happy as a Giant fan to sit there and go, maybe the Giants can go ahead and look at this and go, this is one more year and then they're probably going to go ahead and have to redo this whole entire thing because Dak Prescott's on their cap number of like $60 million next year because they keep moving the money back. Eventually, you got to pay the piper eventually.
Yeah.
They're going to have, a 33-year-old, be 34 now next year. They're going to have a couple other moves that they're going to have to make on players eventually. Like eventually you have to pay Pollard if you want to keep him. Eventually CeeDee Lamb's going to have to get paid. It's hard to keep pushing the can down the road without having to pay that eventually. And plus, at what point do you go, Dak Prescott's not the guy?
Listen, let Jerry keep doing what Jerry's doing because.
Listen, Jerry can do whatever he wants for as long as he wants. I am perfectly fine with that. Yeah. In fact, I think Stephen Jones is the one that needs to stay away from that roster as much as possible.
Yeah.
Because he's the guy who's pushing for them to do offensive line work so much. But like I said, it's just like I said. It's John comes in with Rocky Balboa. Time takes everybody out. It's undefeated. My dad comes in with Bijan is the best running back since Saquon. Yeah, like I said, I just don't know. I'm never a fan of drafting a running back that early. I'm a fan of the Cowboys doing it because it's not going to work out well for them long term. But if I'm trying to look at this unbiased, it's not a smart move. It's not a smart move.
I mean, I disagree, but we can kind of disagree.
We can respectfully disagree, good sir.
Yes.
So yeah, I think the big thing is, where are they going to be? What are you thinking for them at that point? We already talked about how the the Eagles will still be fine, and the Eagles will probably still win like 12 wins or so like that. What do you think as far as the Cowboys? Where do you have them at?
I mean, I don't have their schedule quite yet, so I haven't really looked down the line and see who they're playing, but they're still going to be a good team. Like, love or hate McCarthy, like he does what he does. Like, they'll probably still be hovering around that 10 win. Like 9-10 wins.
Yeah, and I'm thinking 10 wins myself. That's what I'm pretty much thinking. My dad comes and says, "What is the guaranteed money next year for Dak?" So yeah, the next year for Dak, if they cut him early on, his cap number is $61.9 million, and you lose $2.4 million on the cap by cutting him because he's owed more money than what his cap number is currently. If they do a post June 1st, they will save $34 million and then have an $11 million hit in 25 and $11 million hit in 26 for him. Yeah, that's bad. That's really bad. So yeah, yeah, Dak Prescott, good move, guys. Keep it going, Jerry. Keep it going, Jerry. Love it. Yeah. Love what you're doing, man. Yeah. John says taking him late in the first round is okay. Listen, a late first round pick, I'm okay with. I'm okay with that. I don't think that it's smart overall. It's not the worst move in the world. And my dad says, I think he's a lot of guaranteed after next year. Not after next year, but that's the problem is next year he's owed $62 million. Yeah. Yeah. Keep kicking that can, Cowboys. Keep kicking the can. So, yeah. Alrighty. So, next up, we have the Giants. And I think we've already talked all about the Giants overall. Let's be honest here. We're a Giants podcast. That's our usual thing. So, obviously,
last week.
Key additions, Darren Waller, Raiders via trade, Paris Campbell, wide receiver from the Colts, Raheem Nunez-Roches, a.k.a. Nacho from the Buccaneers, and Bobby Okereke from the Colts. Is key re-signings, Daniel Jones, Sterling Shepard, Jamie Gilm, Matt Breida, Darius Slayton, Gerard Davis, key losses, Nick Gates, and Julian Love, and John Feliciano. So, I think the big thing is for us is going to be there's two positions we really need to beef up. Interior offensive line and corner. I'm fine with the safeties even. If they think Belton and Pinnock are enough to go ahead and cover for Julian Love, I'll trust them in that. They see them every single day. Jason Pinnock, I thought, did a pretty decent job when he had to play. But corner, interior offensive line. Because look, imagine if we took Bijan. I know it won't happen, but imagine both of them in the backfield. No, John, I can't stop. Now you're just being ridiculous.
Yeah, he definitely won't fall that far.
Unless we trade Saquon. Trade him for a corner. Stranger things have happened, man. Stranger things have happened. But yeah, I mean, the Giants, I almost got to give them like an incomplete grade right now until we know what's going on. But as it currently sits, I'll put us right around same as last year on 9 wins, because right now we have better weapons, assuming they stay healthy. But we've gotten weaker in the secondary. We've gotten weaker in the the offensive line as well now too. So, like I said, offseason is still young. So all this can change as far as where we're saying rankings wise, where we're saying all that kind of stuff there. But yeah, that's where I got us at. What about you, Rob?
Yeah, pretty much repeat of last year. Just, we're going to be expecting more this year. So don't be upset when they get to 9 wins, because that's where they should be.
Yep. I mean, what's interesting is Giant fans are like, oh, we got this guy. Oh, we got that guy. Well, let's think about this for a second. Most of it's re-signings. Fair to say?
Yeah. I mean, they did make some good moves. Like,
Waller
is a key pickup.
Most of it's re-signings. So we went ahead and we got Paris Campbell. He just replaced Richie James. He's a better player.
I was about to say he's a better player.
He's a better player, but he's just replacing Richie James. So it's a slight upgrade there because he's got the injury issues Richie James didn't. So we got Waller is the big addition, but then we lost interior offensive line in Gates and Feliciano. So that kind of cancels that out right now in my mind. We go ahead and get Bobby Okereke. We lose Julian Love. So you could sit there and say we're a better team than the last year as it currently sits, but you can't sit there and say the Giants are like overwhelmingly improved and oh my God, we were so much better than last year. But again, the offseason's still going on. Let's see where we end. It's not where you begin, it's where you end.
Yeah.
So we shall see. Alrighty. So we got our last team here. And then afterwards, guys, we're going to have a brand new segment. Brand new. So the Washington Commanders. I feel like they should have to change their name again because a commander is like...
Yeah, that's do the Prince thing.
But it's like the Commander is like such a dominant sounding name. Like, we're the Commanders. You guys suck every year.
Everyone.
Yeah, haven't done a damn thing in like longer than the Cowboys.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Key additions. This is the big one. I haven't put it there. I won't even put in players, but I'm putting this in. Key additions. Eric Bieniemy, offensive coordinator, formerly of the Kansas City Chiefs, because that's the biggest boom or bust hit for them. It's not even funny. If they turn things around, it'll be because of that guy. Quarterback Jacoby Brissett, formerly of the Browns, formerly of the Dolphins, formerly of the Colts, formerly of the Patriots.
Half of the NFL.
Yeah. Tackle Andrew Wiley, formerly of the Chiefs, coming over with his OC. Our boy Nick Gates. Cody Barton, formerly of the Seahawks. Cameron Dantzler, formerly of the Vikings, cornerback. And then defensive tackle Abdullah Anderson, formerly of the Falcons. Key re-signings, Darren Payne, who got, the second largest defensive tackle contract in the history of the NFL. The only person beating him is Aaron Donald, and I'm kind of ticked off about it because we're going to have to pay Dexter Lawrence probably in the middle of those two. Linebacker David Mayo, not to be confused with David Ketchup. Cornerback Danny Johnson. And safety Tyler Larson. Losses. Taylor Heineke, quarterback, went to the Falcons. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Wes Shyster, offensive lineman, goes to the Jets. He was injured all last year. Cole Holcomb went to the Steelers. Formerly a captain on the Commanders. So that's a potential loss there. So the biggest question I have this offseason is WTF at the quarterback position.
For the Commanders, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sam Howell, Jacoby Brissett. Is that really what we're going with, guys? Is that really it?
I don't think that's the answer. I don't think that's it.
Who are you drafting?
It's a good question. I don't know what they're doing over there because,
Like
you said it last year, and I wasn't on the train until like watching more games. But Heineke literally, he was the commander of the commanders. Like he brought that team together.
Yeah.
And then you go get rid of him. You could have kept him for cheap.
I mean, I gotta wonder: do you draft Hooker out of Tennessee? Let him sit for a year because you got the ACL he's coming back from if need be. You know, have Eric Bieniemy work with him and see what you got next year out of him. Because that almost seems like their best option at this point. And I'm sorry, folks, if you don't got a quarterback, you ain't winning shit.
I mean, people won with what's his face? I just went blank on his name. Tebow.
Tebow.
Dude throws three passes in a game and still wins. Amazing. But they're all Hail Marys.
John says, Abdullah Anderson, wonder if we're related. You know, you have to go. Maybe if you guys both took a 23andMe, John, maybe that's the key. So he also says, let him stay with that QB as long as Lamar doesn't go there. Watch, they'll get QB Richardson. No, I don't think they're going to get him. I think they're not drafting enough. My dad says Ravens won't let Lamar go to Washington too close. Oh, how awesome would that be just for the drama of Lamar Jackson getting offered money by the Washington Commanders? And I'm telling you right now, if I was the Ravens, and let's say hypothetically that happened, and I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and match this. I'm not going to match that till the very last minute. Not going to match it till the very last minute because that keeps that money on their payroll. And you can circumnavigate around that when you know you have to pay somebody. You can go, okay, I got to keep this money off to the side. But when you sign somebody to an offer sheet, there's a few days that you can sit on an offer sheet as the team that had that player and wait. That's happened before.
Right to the last 20 minutes. Oh, by the way.
Yeah, I want to say it was the Bears did that a couple of years ago to the Packers. So they had signed Kyle Fuller, the cornerback, I want to say it was, to an offer sheet. And they literally waited the last hour to say they would take it. Yeah, as my dad puts in, Ravens will tie up Washington cap space. Exactly that. Even if you want to go ahead and do it, you go ahead and make them hold on to that cap space because that cap space is unspendable as long as it offers out there. It's kind of a dumb thing the NFL does. But it's there. That's what it's for.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they'll take full advantage. And, again, they'll be the much better team in the Washington-Baltimore area there because those guys do compete for attention. That is the same area. They're both actually play in Maryland. It's weird to say there's two teams that play in Maryland, but there is. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I almost hate to give the records out on what we think for these teams this early in the season here. But I'm looking at, they lost one of their captains on defense. They went ahead and got a couple of linemen that I'm not impressed with. Let's call it what it is. I mean, Nick Gates, we all know my feelings on Nick Gates. I was a huge Gates supporter. But they paid the guy to be a starting center in the league. And I'm not so sure that he's the guy you go out and get like that you pay. Like, there was guys that took that kind of money that are better than Nick Gates. Then they went ahead and get Andrew Wiley. We talked about him during the postseason. He was the guy who gave up pretty much every sack the Chiefs had. So, not so sure that's that great of a get. Especially when you're surrounded by a really talented offensive line, you're the guy giving up sacks.
Yeah,
he's not surrounded by that talent anymore. This is going to be a mistake contract. I'm telling you that right now. So, I'm going to say the Commanders will have 6 wins.
I was going to give them 7.
They lost that Heineke feeling.
Yeah.
Whoa, that Heineke feeling. That there's something about that guy. Listen, he's a winner. And I get it. He doesn't have the talent. I'm not suggesting he's a legitimate starter of this league. I'm not suggesting he should be. But he's the guy you want in that locker room.
And he's also a lot better than Jacoby.
He's a lot better than Jacoby. He's a lot better than Sam Howell. But I think they also got rid of him because they didn't want the controversy of if Sam Howell has issues. The fans would go crazy for some Taylor. Oh
yeah, especially after last year. Like, he's the reason why they went to the playoffs.
Almost went to the playoff. But yeah, that's exactly why he's gone. Is because they did not want that controversy. They did not want to have the issue of Sam Howell having Taylor Heineke breathing down his neck. It's one thing for Carson Wentz to have him breathing down his neck because you're a veteran, you're a former, MVP caliber quarterback, many moons ago at this point. But, you're supposed to be able to handle that. A guy whose first year started in the league can't. So that's the whole reason he's gone. But they're going to miss him. They really are. So like I said, I got him slated for, like I said, only 6 wins, 7 wins tops maybe. But yeah, I don't see a good season for them at all, unless I'm wrong. As Deborah comes in, who bought the Commanders? No one's bought the Commanders yet. Yeah, there's all kinds of rumors. But yeah, I definitely think you'll see an ownership change, and I do think as well that it's going to be a celebrating day for all the Commanders fans, and I'll be right there to celebrate with them because Dan Snyder should be nowhere around should be around a Pee Wee football team, let alone an NFL football team. That man is a joke and a POS.
I was about to say,
yeah, he's an utter POS. Look, dude, when your business that you run is so horrible to women that they have to have Congress get involved.
Pretty bad situation.
That's an issue. That's an issue.
It's an issue if you have to get anyone involved.
Multi-billion-dollar business, like it's the 1960s. That's an issue. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he got to go. Got to go right now.
Don't go to Moe's.
Welcome to Moe's. I'll tell you, the first time I went to a Moe's, I swear they said, "Sorry, we're closed." It sounded just like it. They're like, "Sorry, we're closed." I'm like, "What, to leave?" Like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "You just said you're closing." They're like, "No, we said welcome to Moe's." I'm like, I'll tell you, it sounded just like it. It sounded just like it the way they said it. My dad chimes in with, Brissett is better than you think. The Browns lost games last year because the defense didn't show up. Listen, Brissett is better than Howell. But I don't think they signed him to start. I think they signed him more as insurance and as a mentor and that kind of thing because he's not a horrible backup. He's a good backup to have, but he's a low-end starter. And you don't win in the NFL with a low-end starter. You need to have at least a above-average quarterback to win in this league. He's not that. We've got enough years of seeing him on half the teams in the NFL that we know he's not.
Yeah, there's a reason why he's hopped around the NFL the way he's hopped around.
Exactly. So, yeah, I don't see that going good for them at all. See, Congress is happy to stick their nose in anything that keeps them from doing their real jobs, my dad says. And listen, he's not wrong there either. And those guys are definitely the glass houses and should not be throwing stones kind of people. That's for damn sure as well. But, yeah. So it's time, guys, as we wrap this up here today for a brand new segment. Rob and I were talking over the weekend. We like to have a little fun on social media. So those who aren't following us on social media, please do go ahead and follow us for a good old time. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We're probably most active, I would say, Facebook and then Twitter as far as activity-wise. Yeah, but yeah, unfortunately, we haven't touched TikTok and Instagram pretty much in forever because they won't let us stream. Everybody else, we're on live, we're good to go. For whatever reason, those guys are like, no, I'm good. So you don't want the goofballs, you don't get the goofballs.
Yeah. We'll keep our goofballs to ourselves.
Yeah, we will. We will. Unlike Dan Schneider.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we have a new segment here for you guys. I think you guys will like it. It'll be a fun way to end the episode here today. As we go with oh yes, fun on social media. And here we go, and whoop. So yeah, we got the first one. We have the NFL put on their alert. Colts releasing Matt Ryan. The Giant Goofball account says, rumor has it the Colts are scouring the AARP membership roll for the next quarterback as we speak. I'd say it's pretty safe to say it's been pretty much what they've been doing.
We talked about this one, guys.
We talked about this one on Thursday. It says heavy on Browns. This is obviously a Browns page. every QB in the NFL is going to be scared to face the Cleveland Browns pass rush. And we put, every masseuse is scared to face the Cleveland Browns QB. And again, it's truth in advertising here. It's all true. The Raiders, silver and black, Raiders group here. But this offense has to be one of the best in the league. So much offensive firepower. I just hope the Raiders don't move on from Hunter Renfrow because of this move they made to get Jacoby Meyer. They got Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams, Darren Waller, Jacoby Myers, and Hunter Renfrow, which is weird because when do you ever see a team talk about their offensive firepower and not mention the quarterback?
Yeah, and
I just got to point that out. But yeah, we said fixed it for you. You were welcome in advance, and we crossed Darren Waller off their list of weapons. We're just ticking off teams left and right. It's fun. NFL and ESPN put the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have released running back Leonard Fournette, the team announced. And we put, can't do that to this man. He probably eats when he gets upset, and he's had enough. Bet they re-sign him as a nose tackle. Here's I think our piece de resistance for this one here. NFL Banter put, look out Aaron Rodgers. We got a QB battle. They post a quote from January from Zach Wilson saying, I'm going to make that dude's life hell in practice every day when they were asked about signing up potentially a veteran. We said, he's not above sleeping with Aaron Rodgers' mom to make a point.
Oh, he'll get that.
He will. A point, that's right. NFL and CBS put, it'd be like that sometimes. The Patriots are giving Juju Smith-Schuster the same deal Jacoby Myers just got from the Raiders, 3-year, $33 million. Jacoby Myers has a little picture of him saying, cold world, LOL, because he was a little upset that the Patriots gave him the money that to Juju that they wouldn't give it to him, basically. So I put, Patriots sent him a text. It's not you, it's me. Then we got NFL Clutch put on there. Fun fact, Bill Belichick was the head coach of the Cleveland Browns and Nick Saban was his defensive coordinator. They were both fired. Moral of the story, we all fail at some point. You can either lay there in your sorrow or get up and work. That's actually not a bad point overall. But we put other moral to the story. Stay away from the Browns. Even the greats failed there.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I think this is the last one here. All right, Jones Weapon. This is on a New York Giants fan group, by the way, too, which is fun because this live feed is actually in there. So this guy who put that might actually be in, for all we know. He might be watching right now. He said, all right, Jones's Weapon went from Walmart to Target versions. Even better with Waller if healthy. We need a number one, though. And we put the comment of, this man is no Target. He is full-on Amazon Prime. And it's a little blurry, the picture, because that's a GIF, actually, that was there. Oh, we do got one more. RG3, the former commander. So he put Lamar Jackson is unanimous MVP, has led the NFL in passing touchdowns, is 26 years old, is 45 and 16 as starter, and all of the QB needy teams are saying to me they're not interested. It doesn't smell right to me. And then he puts Lamar Jackson, and then he puts Daniel Jones and puts their stats. It says, if teams don't want Lamar, why were the Giants afraid they'd want Daniel Jones? So we put a GIF of Will Smith at the Oscars saying, keep my QB's name out your mouth.
Keep my little QB's name out your mouth.
Oh, yeah. And that is fun on social media there, guys. We have a blast doing that on social media. You know, it's fun to tick people off on social media. It really is. I know it shouldn't be probably, but, you know.
Well, that's just what half of Twitter is trolls.
Listen, might as well troll with it, you know?
Yeah.
Let's see. John just goes, ooh, and goes, Aaron Rodgers overhears Zach Wilson with Aaron Rodgers' mom. Who's your daddy? Oh, my. Listen, Zach's going to go with his strengths. That's his strength, is sleeping with older women. So he's going to go with it. Yeah. So, my dad says you got that from me. What is my dad saying? He's a troll now.
The sad thing, thinking about it too, is Aaron Rodgers is probably just about the same age as Zach Wilson's mom.
Yeah, probably. Actually, I think if I remember correctly, his mom was like very early 40s. So yeah, I think Rodgers, 39?
Yeah, in the ballpark. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, he is. If he was like a teenager, yeah, because I think his mom was very young Zach Wilson's mom was very young when she had him. So, yeah, it almost is. Yeah, it's like if he was like a really young, like if like his mom was like the teacher and like Aaron Rodgers was still in high school, and it's one of those kind of scenarios.
Aaron Rodgers' mom, the white whale.
Yeah.
Oh
man. Alrighty. So yeah, like I said, guys, I think it's I think it's an interesting start to the offseason for the NFC East overall. I think it's there's a lot of big moves being made. There's a lot of moves still to be made, but I think we're set up to have three out of the four teams be good again this year, depending on what the Commanders do with the QB position, because they're still a QB away. That's still a really good defense. That's still a really good set of weapons. I mean, they got wide receivers that we would die for. They got a couple of good running backs as well. So if they can pull something off, like get a good quarterback, now all of a sudden we're again the NFC Beast. We are once again the NFC Beast, because that's a strong division to have. The former NFC champions, the perennial one and done in the playoffs. The Giants hopefully continuing what they did last year, and then the Commanders, if they get a quarterback, actually moving on up as well and being the Jeffersons of the NFC East. It's like I said, a lot more moves to make, guys. So keep an eye out. We'll obviously keep you guys up to date and everything that goes on with the Giants and the NFL as a whole there as best we can with that part of it there, depending on how busy the Giants are in this offseason. And as always, guys, we do have episodes going all off season long. So every Monday, every Wednesday, every Friday, we'll be on here live at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Daylight Savings Time. So if you're in Arizona,
keep that in mind.
Like I said, we'll be keeping that going for you guys. So we're going to go ahead and on Wednesday, we're going to have for you guys our latest mock draft as well, because everybody's going because now we've made the biggest splash moves we're going to make in free agency, of course. Everybody's like, oh, what are we drafting now? Oh, we're getting this guy. Oh, we must get this guy. Like as if they know, who we're going to get automatically. So everybody swears we're getting the center from Minnesota, who I'd love to get, don't get me wrong. But usually it's whoever we think we're going to get is not who we get. That's typically the way it goes. Except the Saquon year. That was the one time we knew. So yeah, like I said, we're going to do the mock draft for you guys. We're going to do that live as well. So what's going to be nice is Rob and I are going to discuss who we want to pick. And if we don't agree, you guys get to be the tiebreaker.
Oh, snap.
So that'll be fun. That'll be fun to do there. So, we'll basically say, okay, well, I want this guy. Rob wants this guy. Who do you guys want? First person to go ahead and pick the winner is the guy who goes ahead and is the guy we pick. So that'll be pretty fun. Whatever you guys do, don't just pick 7 punters. You don't need so many punters.
There goes my strategy.
But yeah, so we'll have that. And then afterwards, we're going to go ahead and start up for you guys also, again, the remainder of our positional reviews from last year. We still have 2 more to go. I know it seems like forever since we did one of those because of all the free agency. We still have the safety position to go over, which would be an interesting, melancholy one to go now with the Julian Love news. We also, of course, have for you guys these special teams, because we're not those people that skip special teams. They are special.
That's what they're very special.
John says, you never said, what did you guys do with your time off after the long, crazy week you had? John, I basically slept. I have work. So I work a minimum of 50 hours on top of doing the show with Rob. And I know Rob does very similar hours as well to me. So, yeah, we sleep when we have time off. We're old.
It was nice.
Yeah, it was very nice. I actually just slept for like an hour before we came on here. So fell asleep on the couch. It's bad. I've reached that age. If I sit on the couch to watch TV, I have to go ahead and set an alarm if I have to do something just in case I fall asleep. It's bad.
Jealous.
Yeah. It was kind of nice. It's kind of a nice little nap. But I was up at 5:30, so I deserve it.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yep, exactly.
4 a.m.
John says, I'm old, you guys are young. No, we're all old, John. We're all old together. So again, guys, thank you, John, for sponsoring this episode. Again, if anybody else is interested in sponsorship as well, or if John's feeling rich and wants to keep sponsoring episodes, kidding, John. Yeah. Well, we appreciate it, man. But buymeacupofcoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Again, that's buymeacupofcoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Again, you can guys follow us if you like. If you're getting this recording after the fact. We do live again every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Twitch, and on my LinkedIn of all things. Usually if people keep asking me, how do we prefer you listen? We listen however you want to listen, you watch however you want to watch. I'll tell you this, the easiest ones from a listener standpoint is probably YouTube or Facebook, because anything you put in here, as far as the comments, we'll see immediately. Same as we will also with Twitch as well, but Twitch has been a little finicky. So, go ahead and take a look there. If you prefer also audio, go ahead and follow us on any audio platform here. Obviously, we're on Apple, we're on Spotify, we're on Amazon, we're on Deezer, we're on all these different things here. So you name an app, we're probably on it. If we're not, you're on the wrong app. That means you're on some weird app, and it's probably like Chinese spies trying to get this stuff off your phones or something. Like, who knows? Like weather balloons and all.
Yeah.
Weather balloons. So, again, guys, thank you very much for listening in. We do appreciate you guys. We know you have plenty of options where you can go ahead and get all your news from. And you guys chose these two goofballs, so we definitely do appreciate that. Again, join us live here on Wednesday night. We start doing Mock Draft 3.0. Everybody loves a good mock draft.
3.0. Yeah.
3.0. So, again, guys, thank you very much for listening in tonight with us. We hope you enjoyed it. And as always,
Go G-Man!
Amen.
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support. If you made it this long, you must have enjoyed it. So I am sure you have followed us on all the social media platforms. Of course, you have subscribed to the show on your favorite app as well and given us a top rating. Right? Right? Right?